everybody, once again, and welcome to the Credit Bank Small Business Spotlight, where we spotlight inspiring business owners. We learn their stories and they share what drives their success. This episode is sponsored by Credit Bank, where you can get up to $500,000 in working capital in less time than it takes you to drive to the bank. I'm your host, Irv Cruz, and today I am joined by Alexis Quintal. She is the personal branding expert and founder of Rosarium, who's dedicated to helping entrepreneurs thrive through education and relationship building. Alexis, thank you for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, the pleasure is all ours. So I like to always start at the very beginning. Like, what was going on in your world prior to founding Rosarium? And what put that idea in your mind to start this company in particular?
Well, I'd always had the entrepreneurial spirit and drive, but I knew that, like many, you have to kind of start out in the corporate world, get your experience, right? Build your resume, make those connections. So That's what I was doing. I was working in a marketing agency called Triad, and we were the agency of record for Walmart Media Group. So I was working with major fashion brands like Levi, Strauss and Co. and, Hanes underwear, all the cool fashion brands that are at Walmart, at least the coolest ones. And, I was loving it. It was a really good experience. I was working with massive budgets, like millions of dollars going into one holiday ad campaign. I mean, it was kind of crazy to imagine it, but it was a great experience. And, unfortunately, as things happen in the business world, Walmart decided they'd rather build out their own marketing team. So they let go of our agency. We kind of separated ways. And I just kind of started to see the dominoes of, this might not last much longer because we just lost such a large client. And the agency was kind of built around Walmart. So I knew there was probably going to be a time where I'd have to find another job or, move on to something else. And so I realized, I had a couple options. I could apply to some of the other agencies in Tampa Bay, which were all pretty small marketing agencies compared to this one. I kind of got lucky being at one of the largest in St. Pete. So I didn't really want to go to a smaller company, right? I kind of liked the size of where I was at. But the other option was, or I could just start my own and, bring on my own clients and, use the experience that I have in sales and marketing and help small businesses locally in Tampa really build out their, marketing funnels and create social media content. And, so I just set up my business, my LLC, February 1st, 2020. So I just celebrated 5 years and just started.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, just started going out there, just really independently as a marketing consultant is how it all began. But it has evolved a lot since then.
Oh, wonderful. And what did you do? I mean, with you having an expertise in marketing, what did you do to brand yourself and get your name out there so people can know who Rosarium is and what they do and how Rosarium can help them?
Yeah, I just started networking a lot, going to different events in the area. And that's how I really started connecting with those business owners and building that trust. Because marketing can be tough. There's a lot of, cold email marketing and ads and things that are out there. But when you're a service-based business and you're the product, it's a little bit harder to run ads or cold email without building that relationship first. So that's really where I started. And that's today still how I bring in new business. I still don't do any cold email, traditional digital advertising. It's all relationship building, personal branding, networking, PR, all the things that are actually our key services now because we see that they work.
Were there, when you wanted to, launch this business, aside from, let's call it electronic means, sometimes, starting a business can be a little capital intensive and it can be tough to secure, financing to launch the business. How did you manage that early on?
Honestly, I think in a service-based business like marketing, I didn't need an office. I didn't need any sort of extensive platforms, right? I just needed an understanding of what was really the most impactful marketing solutions for businesses. And that really didn't cost me anything. So, I invested in my branding, I invested in my own website, the things you have to do to set up your business. But most of it, I just it was just grassroots, just from, luckily I had done really well in the previous company before before we lost that
Right.
client. I was making sales commission, so really just kind of built up my own sales savings account and used that to invest in my business.
Yeah. So you built it
Hmm.
organically. Okay. So you've been in business 5 years now, and again, congratulations. So I always like to ask this: what has been your proudest moment or greatest achievement thus far?
Hmm. There's so many, I'm like, there's so many ways I could answer that. I think some of my proudest moments are definitely just the team that I've built, especially where I've created a really unique model for my business where I don't have any full-time employees. No one is fully dedicated to Rosarium. They actually are all entrepreneurs themselves. So I basically picked
Okay.
out some of the really talented marketers and designers and brand strategists that I already worked with in other agencies or knew of from networking. And while they were kind of doing what I was doing, building their own independent marketing consulting businesses, I said, let's team up together. Like more heads are better than one. We can add more services. We can collaborate. We can feel a little bit less alone because entrepreneurship can be pretty lonely. And
Yes, it
I
can.
still have probably five or six of the same team members that I had from day one. And a lot of them are still building their own businesses, but they've really had that like stability of working with Rosarium because I'm the only one that has that sales focused mentality. A lot of them, designers,
Right.
brand strategists, they're kind of introverts. They don't know how to sell their services. They're amazing at what they do, but they're great to
Right.
have
Right.
kind of in your back pocket whenever those type of projects come up. So I'm definitely proud to say that, even for 5 years, I've worked with a lot of the same talented consultants, and we're still growing together.
Yeah, that's wonderful to hear. And as running a business has its challenges. So within the 5 years that you've been in business, what's one of the major hurdles that you've faced? And equally as important, or maybe even more important, how did you meet that challenge head on?
Actually, kind of ties to the last question. Hiring people, trusting them, really giving them a lot. I give them a lot of responsibility. I mean, you're basically, because they're entrepreneurs, I'm saying, you know what, you're responsible for, this project, this is the deadline. Don't have time to be like on top of everything that's happening. So I build a lot of trust around my people. And that's also been some of the worst parts is one of the most challenging parts is when, they either take advantage of you because they think, you're a business owner, you must have a lot of money, you must be doing really well. Or, they don't, they lose that trust, or they're just not following through on what they had kind of promised. So some of the most difficult times we're just kind of managing people and those expectations and those
Right.
relationships. But I mean, it's all part of the world of owning your own business. So I kind of just look at it as a learning lesson and try to
Yeah.
be a little bit more careful in the future.
Yeah, and it's also part of what
Yeah.
drives you to explore, ways to be
Yeah.
better. That's what challenges do. They cause you to dig inside and step back and not be so much a participant in the thought in as much as an observer of the thought, so you can look at it from all different ways, and come to a conclusion or a solution that's going to propel you forward. So where do you see yourself in the next 2 years? Any exciting growth plans or goals that you have in mind?
Yeah, yeah. One of my goals has been to grow my personal brand. So that's why I do a lot of speaking engagements and, podcasts. I have my own podcast and
Oh,
publishing
awesome.
in the media, really just putting myself out there as a thought leader. And, my goal is to start, well, first I want to publish my book and then use that as also a tool to catapult my speaking and, eventually get paid to travel and speak and teach people about personal branding.
Okay, so if there was one thing, if you had like the perfect resources or support right now, and there's that one thing that you could change for your business tomorrow, what would that be?
Probably just hiring someone really great that I can train into a similar role as
Okay.
mine, and really teach them about personal branding, have them take on some leadership roles with our clients. I'm still managing a lot myself day to day. So, in the perfect world, I'd start to really delegate that out to other experts.
Alexis, it's been fantastic learning about Rosarium and the difference that you're making. For those that want to connect with you, how can they find you?
Yeah, well, so we're on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, every platform under rosarium.work, WORK. And you can also connect
Okay.
with me on LinkedIn, Alexis Rose Quintal, as well as Instagram. And yeah, you can find us on our website. We've got a great personal branding quiz where you can kind of find out which level you're at out of 3 stages. And we can help you kind of elevate and grow to the next stage.
Well, Alexis, thank you once again for sharing your story with us. And to our listeners, if you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and tune in for more inspiring business spotlights. Once again, I'm your host, Irv Cruz, and we'll see you on the next Credit Bank Small Business Spotlight. Thank you so much
Thank
once again,
you.
Alexis.
If you enjoyed this video, click here to watch another exciting episode.